So I was kind of already, had a scientific skeptical mindset about things, but I did believe in alien visitation and ghosts and maybe Ouija boards and mediums, because why not? That's what was all over television. You go to the library and you get books on the subject. There was nothing that I came across that said this was wrong. So this was science. This was right. So sometime in my mid-teens, I found a magazine called The Skeptical Inquirer, which was writing on the science side of those things. And I said, oh, wow, there's no Loch Ness monster. I've heard that people in the UK don't actually believe, but people in America do. And then there's no Bigfoot, and there's likely no aliens visiting Earth. And it's the Shroud of Turin isn't even real. So it's oh, wow. That pushed me over the edge to actually say, okay, none of this is real. I don't even believe in the Trinity anymore. Although they weren't talking about the religious things, but it kind of all melds. If you're a skeptic and become a rational thinker about these things, it's kind of hard, from my perception, to still believe in taking things on faith. So I went into engineering, and I did that till I retired, just when the pandemic started. I was not involved very much in anything else. I didn't know there was an active skeptical movement even until maybe 3 or 4 years before that. And then I started doing podcasts, and I found The Skeptic's Guide to the Universe by searching the term universe.
Have you been a guest on this show before?
I have not, and I'm mad about that, because I've interviewed Jay Novella several times for my column, and I actually, to drop names, I had dinner with them and their family once, but I was never a guest.
Well, there's still some. You might still be. I mean, one never knows. Anything can happen, I want to ask you, Rob.
We'll put in a good word for you.
Would you do the same for us, please?
Sure. So I would say I found them, and then I found them talking about other podcasts. I found a podcast which I now have contributed to somewhat, the Skeptic Zone from Australia. And they had interviewed Susan Gerbic, who was talking about the Guerilla Skeptics on Wikipedia, which was a team set to promote scientific rationalism on that encyclopedia. And I looked it up, and I found paranormal people lambasting it. How dare these people tell us that astrology is not true? And that made me join them. So that's how I became a skeptical activist.
So can we tell our audience that we're about 50% UK audience and 50% US audience? So people in the UK may not know what Guerilla Skeptics on Wikipedia actually are or do. Could you tell us?
Yes. So Susan Gerbic went on a cruise as she found her own interest in the skeptical movement. I think this was about 2010. And there was a talk given by another skeptic about Wikipedia, which was around a little bit by then. And it was an up and coming thing, and people were starting to rely on it more and more. And it had become such an important resource that guy's talk was, can't remember who that was now, unfortunately, but that guy's talk was, we need to figure out how to use this resource to put the right information on there, so that people don't go to the homeopath page and it says homeopathy is true science or astrology really works. And she, in a few years, started to try to edit Wikipedia to do that, and learned how to do it. And then she decided, I need a group of people to help me. So she formed a team she humorously called the Guerilla Skeptics. Guerilla as in fighters, not the
can you so as a language teacher, as an English literature and language teacher, it's GUER, not the
GORILA, Guerilla, right? GUERRILLA.
I'm going to clip that, Tersia. I'm going to clip you doing this.
So as a joke, our logo actually is King Kong fighting off the airplanes on top of the World Trade Center. And on the airplane wings, it says something like paranormal homeopathy, something like that.
Yes.
It's a brilliant pun. I mean, I love puns.
So in a nutshell, the idea is that you put Wikipedia right.
Yes.